سلام سے پہلے ان کا رکیں گے شاگرد تھوڑی بار مل کے درود بھیجیے محمد والے محمد. فضائل مولانا جی السلام. جس کو دیوارے حرم میں در نظر آتا نہیں، جس کو دیوارے حرم میں در نظر آتا نہیں، خم کے میدان میں اسے حیدر نظر آتا نہیں، جس کو دیوارے حرم میں در نظر آتا نہیں، اور کیوں بھرا ہے منافق دل میں بغض بوتراب، کیوں بھرا ہے منافق دل میں بغض بوتراب، کیا تصور میں کوئی کنکر نظر آتا نہیں، جس کو دیوارے حرم میں در، اور جس کی جانب بھی بڑھی ایک بار تیغ حیدری، جس کی جانب بھی بڑھی ایک بار تیغ حیدری، اس کو کاندھے پہ رکھا پھر سر نظر آتا نہیں، جس کو دیوارے حرم میں در نظر آتا نہیں. بر محمد وآل محمد صلوات. سلام کے چند اشعار ایک بار مل کے درود بھیجیے محمد وآل محمد. یوں رو رہے ہیں دیکھ کے زینب کو مرتضیٰ، یوں رو رہے ہیں دیکھ کے زینب کو مرتضیٰ، اور شاید خیال آیا ہے بازار شام کا، یوں رو رہے ہیں دیکھ کے زینب کو مرتضیٰ، اور زینب کے تھے یہ بین مدینے چلو حسین، زینب کے تھے یہ بین مدینے چلو حسین، کوفہ ہمارے رہنے کے قابل نہیں رہا، یوں رو رہے ہیں دیکھ کے زینب کو مرتضیٰ، اور پہلا یہ امتحان ہے غازی کے صبر کا، پہلا یہ امتحان ہے غازی کے صبر کا، ارے عباس چپ ہے سامنے قاتل ہے باپ کا، یوں رو رہے ہیں دیکھ کے زینب کو مرتضیٰ، ہو زینب نہ رو مجھے ابھی آ جائے گا سکون، زینب نہ رو مجھے ابھی آ جائے گا سکون، ارے رومال لا کے باندھ دو سر پہ بطول کا، اور مولا کیوں خاک آپ نے ڈالی ہے زخم پر، مولا کیوں خاک آپ نے ڈالی ہے زخم پر، کیا یاد آ گیا ہے مصلی پہ کربلا، یوں رو رہے ہیں دیکھ کے زینب کو مرتضیٰ، اور دربار شام جاؤں گا زینب میں تیرے ساتھ، ارے اکبر یہ کہہ کے ہو گئے خاموش مرتضیٰ، یوں رو رہے ہیں دیکھ کے زینب کو مرتضیٰ، بر محمد وآل محمد صلی اللہ.
صلوات علی محمد و آل محمد. Now I would like Brother Muhammad Ali Jafri to come to the front and recite a Marzia for us. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
مر محمد وآل محمد صلوات. ہما صلی علی محمد وآل محمد. پہلے یہ جان لے کہ ہیں مشکل کشا علی، پہلے یہ جان لے کہ ہیں مشکل کشا علی، پھر دیکھ تیرے واسطے کرتے ہیں کیا علی، ٹل جاتی ہیں ہماری تو ساری مصیبتیں، ہم جب کبھی خلوص سے کہتے ہیں یا علی، پہلے یہ مان لے کے ہیں. درود بھیج دیں محمد وآل محمد. صلی علی محمد وآل. مرثیے کے چند بند اس سے پہلے آپ سب سے گزارش ہے کہ سورہ فاتحہ کا ثواب تمام شہدائے ملت جعفریہ کے لیے اور آپ سب کے مرحومین کے لیے. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. الحمدللہ رب العالمین الرحمن الرحیم مالک یوم الدین ایاک نعبد و ایاک نستعین صراط المستقیم صراط الذین انعمت علیہم غیر المغضوب علیہم ولا الضالین. مرثیے کے چند بند فاتحہ. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم الحمدللہ رب العالمین الرحمن الرحیم مالک یوم الدین ایاک نعبد و ایاک نستعین اہدنا الصراط المستقیم صراط الذین انعمت علیہم غیر المغضوب علیہم ولا الضالین. 19ویں سے آپ کا ماتم ہے یا علی. 19ویں سے آپ کا ماتم ہے یا علی. خون ہو گئے دلوں کا یہ عالم ہے یا علی. دفتر جہاں کا در ہموں برہم ہے یا علی. ماہ سیام ماہ محرم ہے یا علی. ماہ سیام ماہ محرم ہے یا علی. مولا کی نظر کو گوہر اشک لائے ہیں یہ روزے دار آپ کے پر سے کو لائے ہیں. یہ روزہ دار آپ کے پر سے کو آئے. لایا تھا زہر میں جو جفا جو بچھا کے تھے مولا گرے زمیں پہ مسجے میں کھا کے تھے. غل پڑ گیا کہ سر پہ لگی مرتضیٰ کے تھے. کھائی خدا کے شیر نے گھر میں خدا کھائی خدا کے شیر نے گھر میں خدا کے. گہرا ہے سر گہرا ہے زخم فر کے امام حجاز پر سر سے ٹپک رہا ہے لہو جا نماز پر. سر سے ٹپک رہا ہے لہو جا نماز پر. شیر خدا جو ہاتھوں سے تھامے تھے اپنا سر خون دونوں کوہنیوں سے ٹپکتا تھا خاک پر. بھاگا جو ابن ملجم بدخو و بدگو پکڑا اسے علی کے محبوں نے دوڑ پکڑا اسے علی کے محبوں نے دوڑ کر. لائے جو ہاتھ باندھ کے مولا کے سامنے قاتل پہ مسکرا کے نظر کی امام نے. قاتل پہ مسکرا کے نظر کی امام نے. لائے پسر جو گھر میں تو غش تھے امام کرتے تھے بآواز دردنا. چہرہ لہو میں تر تھا بہوں تک جبین پا. زہرا کی بیٹیوں نے اڑائی سروں زہرا کی بیٹیوں نے اڑائی سروں پہ دیکھا جو سر کا زخم جگر تھر تھرا گیا. عباس نامدار کی ماں کو غشا گیا. عباس نامدار کی ماں کو غشا گیا. 19 सिवी से आपका
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وقوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين ألا إن حزب الله هم المفلحون صدق الله العلي العظيم. محمد Before I begin, if I could ask some of you to come a little kind of close to each other, so inshallah we pay our respects to Imam alayhi salatu wasalam with loud salawat. It's the 19th of the holy month of Ramadan, first of the nights of Aza and Musibat, of the martyrdom of Imam Ali alayhi salam, something which defines us. Imam Ali is the personality who defines the Shia. He's the one who basically is the hero of Shia Islam, for lack of a better word, because we identify ourselves with Imam Ali alayhi salam. No one on the face of this earth loves and remembers the true teachings of Imam Ali alayhi salam like the Shia. Even those, some of the people who call themselves Shias, but they don't believe in 12 Imams, they talk about Imam Ali, but they don't really quote his sayings, they don't believe in Nahjul Balagha, they don't follow his instructions, they don't follow his guidance. So it's not enough to just say that I love Ali alayhi salam. It is important to actually look into history, look into Quran, look into the words of Holy Prophet, and look into the actual life of Imam Ali, to change myself, to be close to Imam Ali, to be able to rightfully call myself a follower of Imam Ali. Because Imam Ali alayhi salam's life is so multifaceted and so meaning rich and full of meaning for anyone, not just for Muslims, but anyone who looks at the life of Imam Ali. From any angle you look at the life of Imam Ali, you are astonished by the greatness of this man. From the aspect of physical strength, courage, chivalry, to wisdom, knowledge, to piety, statesmanship, generosity, right? And there are tons of things, honesty, his sense of duty, and management, just endless list of things that you just keep going on and on. Basically, anything you call human greatness is found in the personality of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam. Salawat, please. And for him to be martyred and killed in this holy month of Ramadan, in one of the holiest of places, which is Masjid-e-Kufa, on one of the holiest nights of our calendar, Laylatul Qadr, in the mihrab of ibadat, during his prayers, and in the state of sajda, it just forces me to think, compels me to think of the birth of Imam Ali inside the Kaaba. That how could he not be there? When his beginning was inside the Kaaba, and the Kaaba itself opened itself up to welcome Imam Ali's mother to be the birthplace of Imam Ali alayhi salam, then only the mosque of Kufa and the Laylatul Qadr could have been the time of his departure from this life. Quran very clearly divides people into two categories, two classes: Hizbul Shaitan and Hizbullah. Party of Shaitan, followers of Satan, and followers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hizbullah, Hizbullah, party of Allah. Now today if you listen to news, you talk about Hizbullah and everybody's mind goes there. Inshallah, Allah give them success. Our hearts are with our brothers and sisters across the world, in Gaza, in Yemen, and everywhere else, wherever there's a fight going on for right and for truth. May Allah give them victory, inshallah. As of now, in the light of Quran, Hizbullah is described in its characteristics. So, human beings are divided into these two groups. They are followers of shaitan. Shaitan is an embodiment of deceit, corruption, oppression, lies, right? Shaitan means a person is misleading others. Yes? Pretending to be someone he's not. This is shaitan. The primary thing about Satan is that he's not honest, he's not open, he's not truthful. He says one thing, does something else. Hypocrisy is a primary quality of Satan and Satan worshippers and followers of Satan in every time, that they pretend to be something they are not. They stand up, for example, for human rights, and they are the ones who are oppressing people more than anyone else. Followers of Satan are the ones who talk about God and actually they are following the Satan. Right? They cause and spread corruption in the name of God while following the Satan. And this hypocrisy is very clear in their practices. It's not like no one can understand it. It's all over the place. But because of the name of God, they stick to this whole thing. It is very hard for people to confront them at times. One example of that was Muawiyah, that he wore the garb of Islam, not like his father Abu Sufyan. Again, in the time in Quraysh, he was also running the mosque, Kaaba. Abu Sufyan was he was merchants, he was a leader, and he was managing this Kaaba, which had become a place of idol worship. In the history you find at the point where the advent of Islam, in the early life of Holy Prophet, that's how Kaaba was being run. Kaaba was a place of keeping the idols and idol worship. So those people were using that religion then, and then when Islam came, his son wore the garb of Islam. Again, corrupting Islam and using Islam to corrupt the people, mislead the people and abuse the resources that belong to the people. So this is the deceitful behavior is the work of shaitan, Satan. So it's not an easy thing to recognize at times. Sometimes it takes a while to recognize someone who is being deceitful. Because anyone can take the name of God and Quran and Allah, and right? We always should be very careful as well. It is a lesson for us as well. The people who followed the shaitan they did not land from the heaven or somewhere. They were just like us. They just chose to follow their base desires. They followed the Satan means that they wanted only the life of this world. They wanted to follow their desires. And satanic behavior was useful in getting what they want, right? Without having to explain to their conscience that I'm doing something wrong. Because when you keep lying, you start lying to yourself as well. You start believing in the lies you tell others. That's the problem. People who came against Imam Ali alayhi salam during his khilafat were the same way. These were people who were the well-known companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They kept lying to themselves so much they started believing those lies. That because we are the early companions of Prophet, we deserve to be given a handsome amount of money from the public wealth. Because we are the early converts to Islam, we deserve a lot of special favors from the government because of our services. See? This is how deceit works. This is how nifaq, hypocrisy works. This is how this false pride works. And it was all in operation. This was all was in action. It's all over the place in history. So this is the Hizb al-Shaitan. And Quran condemns them. And one of the things Quran mentions about them, Allah inna hizba shaitan humul khasirun. The party of Satan are the losers. Right? Quran doesn't say, for example, could have said, for example, the party of Satan will go to hell. No. Party of Satan are the losers. Whatever they have done in this world, they will lose everything. That they have actually deceived themselves. They have lost everything they had and got nothing out of it. The moment you close your eyes, you will see that what I gained from all this. All these things I have done in my life, what have I actually gained? And in 1 second or less than 1 second, a person will see the outcome, the final outcome of all his efforts in his life. And that will be a total loss. On the other hand, the party of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, their qualities have been defined. In the end it says, Allah inna hizballah humul muflihun. The party of Allah will have falah, which means salvation. They will win. They will be victorious. They will gain ultimate success. So ultimate success is basically, there's nothing like you could say, okay, this means ultimate success. For example, I make this much money means ultimate success. No, it is basically infinite success. Something you cannot even comprehend. Like your nature tells you, I want unlimited bliss and happiness and pleasures and joy and endless favors and everything you can imagine and what you cannot even imagine. Because your nature is yearning to get something that's never ending. And this world cannot supply that. This world cannot provide you with that unlimited success, right? You cannot. Even if you get that success in this life, you will not be alive here anymore. Right? Most people, a lot of people, what they aim to get, many of them, they actually don't get it. And some who do get it, they don't stay to enjoy it very long. That's how this life is, right? Two groups. In the time of Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was the Quraysh against the believers in the Holy Prophet. So on one side it was the Muslims. Muslims mean people who subscribe to the call of Holy Prophet, who gave their word and stayed the course with the Holy Prophet. This is the believers, we call them Muslims, who submitted to the message of Holy Prophet. On the other hand are all these people who would not submit to the message of Holy Prophet. We will follow our forefathers. Quran says, even if your forefathers were in ignorance, you will still follow them. So they insisted on their ignorance. So it was very clear. Believers on one side, disbelievers on the other side. Pretty clear. The distinction was pretty clear. But after the Holy Prophet of Islam passed away, it became very confusing. Because now everyone is calling himself Muslims. Everyone is calling himself Muslims. So that was the first test. So the Holy Prophet had announced that Ali alayhi salam would be my successor. Others did not accept it. The others are also praying in the mosque. They're also fasting in Ramadan. They're also going for Hajj. They say, no, we don't accept Ali as our Khalifa. A small group of people insisted that Ali was, we will not accept those and we will continue to follow Ali alayhi salam. We only recognize him, but they were one by one persecuted, killed, sent in exile or forced into submission. So whatever. So now it became very confusing because everyone is claiming to be a Muslim. And as time passed, things got even more confusing. Because see, the shaitan also improvises his methods. Also, the work of the craft of shaitan is not very simple. It gets more and more complex. People find it even more harder to recognize the work of shaitan as time passes. The deeper they go into this confusion, the more complicated it gets. So after 25 years of corruption, oppression, and everything else, basically people were denied education of Islam. Let's put it this way. After the Prophet's demise, after the Prophet passed away, people were denied access to Islam. Because what is Islam? Islam for people meant the personality of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because they did not get Quran directly from Allah. Everything the Prophet said became Islam. The Prophet is not there anymore. So what are they following really? So that problem they denied people means that they put a ban on hadith. Now people could not discuss what the Prophet said. There was a complete ban on hadith. So 25 years passed. Now people basically got so frustrated that they marched towards Medina and they took over the city in revolt against the third caliph. And when that happened, basically Imam Ali alayhi salam tried to defend the caliph. He did that because it would have become a wrong tradition for people to come and assassinate the ruler just because they disagreed with him. It would not be limited to this caliph. Once something has a precedent in history, then people just follow that. You say, justify that, okay, they did it too, I can do it too. So he didn't want people to cross the line, but some of them did. They killed the third caliph. Imam Ali at that point left the city. The city was in chaos. People were running there was lawlessness in a way, no government, nothing. The body of this third caliph they threw in some garbage. They wouldn't even allow the body to be buried in the Muslim graveyard. And now there was obviously debates going on. What do we do now? Who is to become? And all eyes turned towards Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. Allahumma sallallahu Muhammad wa. No one could come even close to the greatness of Imam Ali in the eyes of people. Despite 25 years of complete, basically isolation of Imam Ali, that they could see that there was no one really who was sincere to the cause of Islam, of the Holy Prophet, other than Ali alayhi salam. The only person who they could find that he is not a person who would seek anything for himself. It was this honesty of Imam Ali alayhi salam. The problem was that people acknowledged that, but they were not willing to sacrifice for that. So they came to Imam Ali alayhi salam begging him to become the fourth ruler after Prophet, become the Khalifa. And Imam Ali refused them. He said, I am better off being an advisor than to be your ruler. I will give good advice. I will provide guidance whoever seeks it. Because he knew that they don't deserve Imam Ali alayhi salam. They don't deserve. Because Imam Ali alayhi salam, obviously now it's not that day of the Holy Prophet anymore. It's 25 years of corruption behind him. To come and take power means he has to undo everything that has been done in 25 years. Undo the practices of the three Khalifas. That's not something doable for these people who are used to these methods. And many of these people who became the leaders of this crowd, they were actually involved in receiving favors in the time of these three Khalifas. So people coming to do bay'at of Imam Ali, the faces that were in the front row were the same faces who were the beneficiaries of this corruption of 25 years. Like Talha and Zubair and so many other people. So how could Imam Ali alayhi salam accept becoming their Khalifa when they are the ones who would be the first to oppose him Evidently, I mean, it's very clear that. But they insisted. Crowd insisted. The crowd would not go back. Until in some place in the Nahjul Balagha, you find Imam Ali says that they trampled under their feet my sons Hassan and Hussein. Almost, I fear that Hassan and Hussein will be crushed to death under the feet of this crowd, this huge turnout of these people outside of Medina where Imam Ali was staying. And Imam Ali mentions that Lawla Huzurul Hazir wa Tamamul Hujja wa Wujud al-Nasir. If it was not because of the abundance of people coming out and offering their support to me, right? And that evidence now Hujjat Tamam, it's very hard to translate this. Hujjat Tamam means like they had made me responsible, made this duty incumbent upon me that I had to accept it. Because they said, "Oh Ali, if you do not accept becoming our Khalifa, we will bring this complaint to the Prophet of Islam on the Day of Judgment, that we came to ask you to guide us, but you refused." See, I'm also, while I'm speaking, I'm trying to answer lots of these questions that come to mind. Why this happened? Why that happened? And all of this requires a lot of discussion. But it's open. It's a good idea to have some sort of a reference so we can later on go back and study this further, because very, very interesting. The history is very interesting. Because that's what defines us. We Shia are defined by the character and personality and political stance and teachings and way of life of Imam Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. Muhammadan wa ala Muhammad. So here we are. Imam Ali comes to power and he starts to see, opposition from the same people who came to give him allegiance. They did not bring any objections in the beginning. For example, when people came to ask Imam Ali to become the Khalifa, nobody had anything to say against Imam Ali. Then Imam Ali is the allegiance, bay'at ceremony, the allegiance. Like today we have voting and elections. Those times people used to come, bay'at means allegiance, give allegiance to the ruler. That we will be loyal to you. We will not conspire against you. We will stay with you, support you, and follow your instructions. That was bay'at. So that was supposed to be the thing. They didn't mention anything against Imam Ali. Any complaints that, we consider you responsible for killing this third Khalifa. Nobody said any such thing. Even after, nobody mentioned anything against Imam Ali. Days passed, weeks passed. There were people coming and going to the house of Imam Ali, coming and going, asking him for things. And this became requests, and requests became demands. And the demands became basically, claims. That this is our claim, that you must give me this, you must give him that. And Imam Ali would say no. Because Imam Ali alayhi salam had seen these people, what they had done before. He kept refusing them. No, this is not going to happen. And by his appointments, he showed what kind of people he wanted in power. The different cities, Kufa, Basra, Hijaz, Medina, Makkah, Egypt, Iraq, other places, Azerbaijan, Iran, all the way up to Central Asia and up to some parts of Africa and parts that had been already liberated near what we call Eastern Europe now. All of these are all within the framework of Islam. And these appointments showed that Imam Ali, what kind of values he wants to promote and how he wants to manage the empire, Muslim empire. Then you start hearing these people raising their voices against Imam Ali alayhi salam. Now they're asking for what? Asking for the revenge against the killers of Uthman. Very sad. I don't want to go into this any further. Just wanted a historical reference that this is what Imam Ali alayhi salam was facing, and his was shaitan. In the time of Imam Ali, we have the first war that happened between Muslims. The first war that happened between Muslims during the Khilafah of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Now 25 years passed. Wasn't there any war between Muslims then? Because those who would wage wars, right, were all bought by the rulers. They were given him lands and huge parts of the public money. They were given special favors. They didn't have any reason to stand up against the Khalifa. The wife of Prophet who waged the first war against Imam Ali alayhi salam, she was involved in that corruption. She was given millions every month. And she was buying, people. And they were basically promoting false fabrication of hadith. And all of that was happening. So Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam is faced with this dilemma. And history shows that Imam Ali's object was not to fight these people. He was raising an army in Medina against Muawiyah. Because as soon as Imam Ali came to power, he deposed Muawiyah. Muawiyah was a ruler in Syria. He deposed him immediately. Muawiyah refused to accept it. He said, I will stay in power. There's only one way in which I will give my allegiance to Ali, that Ali would reinstate me as the ruler in Sham. He will keep me in power, then I will give my allegiance to Ali. Imam Ali alayhi salam refused that, and he said the last offer he made was, you come with some of your companions to Medina and give me allegiance. That was the last conversation, which he refused. Now, then Imam Ali, when he was claiming, he was pushing him, pressuring him to step down, Muawiyah began basically consultations to wage a war against Imam Ali alayhi salam. And the war happened. But Muawiyah very cunningly brought this whole army of ignorant people near the city of Basra, under the leadership of Talha and Zubair and the wife of Holy Prophet, what became the Battle of Jamal. So Imam Ali was raising an army to march on Syria and finish this fitna of shaitan once and for all, but he was faced with this dilemma now. If he leaves these people, Medina is unsafe, because these people are going to march towards Medina from Basra. He couldn't be going any other place. So now he had to change direction and face them over there, the Basra. This battle happened. It was it was disastrous in many ways, because many lives were lost. Imam alayhi salam tried his best to avoid this conflict, but they kept killing and killing and killing until he was left with no choice. Even before Imam Ali's army arrived near Basra, they had already committed a bloodshed, a massacre inside the city of Basra. Then Imam Ali alayhi salam began negotiations with Zubair, with Talha, with all these people. And in the end, when he saw that they were shooting arrows against the army of Imam Ali alayhi salam, Imam Ali alayhi salam asked his own army, is there anyone amongst you who will take a Quran in his hands and go and call these people, invite these people, right, to the teachings of Islam and avoid conflict? Because the teachings of Quran are very clear. Quran says, وَإِذْ طَائِفَتَانِ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ اقْتَتَلُوا فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَهُمَا. Very clear. Surah Hujurat, Allah says, if two groups of Muslims start fighting with each other, right, the first duty of all the other people is to bring peace. Bringing peace is the first obligation of Muslims. If you see two people having any problem, this is not the time of deciding who's right, who's wrong. The duty is to stop fighting. That's the first duty. Unconditionally, stop fighting. Then you can figure out what needs to be done later on. But they would refuse. So he asked, and one young man who was a Qari of the city of Kufa, his name was Muslim Mujashi'i. He stepped forward. Imam said, whoever goes against these people, they're going to kill him. They're going to kill him. He insisted, he said, Ya Ali, I will go out, no matter what happens. You need a person like me to do that. I am that person. So Imam Ali sent him. This young man reciter of Quran, went out in front of this army, held the Quran in his hand, started calling people towards the teachings of Quran. What this Quran is calling us to do. What is forbidding us so that it will be avoid. They wouldn't listen to him. Started shooting arrows at him, thousands of arrows at this young man. Then one of the slaves from this other side came out and cut off his arms in the battlefield. He fell, passed away, he died as a martyr and shaheed. They brought his body to Imam Ali. Then another body, and another body. This Imam who is Ra'uf, who is Mehraban, who is compassionate, who cares and worries about every single human life. This is the act of shaitan. This is the act of shaitan. When we talk about Hizb shaitan, this is what we mean. Now there are people who are calling themselves companions. They are praying namaz Yashab. They are fasting. Some of them are reciters of Quran as well. And they are out here killing Muslims. And reading the verses of Quran to justify their actions. How sad is that? After the 3 wars that happened, Imam Ali alayhi salam said, I have taken out the eye, of this fitna. So eye is the thing with which you see everything, right? He said, I took out the eye of this fitna, sedition. And no one could have done it other than me. And this is what resulted in the shahadat of Imam Ali in the battle in the Masjid of Kufa. Imam Ali stood up for justice, for equitable distribution of public wealth. Only the qualified people must be given a job. Right? Knowledge is the criteria. Honesty, integrity. People today have learned these things after centuries. Still, we are struggling with that. Imam Ali put it in practice then and there. Look at the teachings of Imam Ali, how to administer a state. In Nahjul Balagha, he gives his instructions to Malik Ashtar, you go to Egypt and rule that country. This is how you rule that country. If you read that, you find that current. You find that it's today, is applicable. Imam Ali alayhi salam was faced with this party of shaitan. So today the party of Iman and party of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the party of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. And it is, we are, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, we love Ali alayhi salam. And we are in this, we are fasting, and we are fasting according to the wilayat of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. We pray and we pray according to the wilayat of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Whatever we do, it is based on the wilayat of Muhammad wa ala Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma sallam. This wilayat of Ahlul Bayt is the wilayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah shows His beautiful signs to us. And He gets us to love Him, because we see how much beauty in this world. How much we have been given even before we were born. Every day we are blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For anyone to look deep into his own self will see how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves me. Right? Because of how much He has done for me, and He keeps doing. Despite whatever wrong I do, He does not stop giving me everything I need. Right? And the greatest thing He has given to me is the Holy Prophet and His Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam. And you see that, when you look at all the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the greatest favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is 14 Masumeen, the 14 Masumeen. These 14 personalities are the greatest favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Compare these 14 personalities, this favor of Allah, with any other favor of Allah in our lives. Wealth, knowledge, job, business, respect, anything else. Compare that, everything else will lose its color. Nothing matters. This person came to Imam Jafri Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. You've heard this before. He said, Yabna Rasulullah, I'm very poor, I need your help. Imam replied and he said, you are very rich. He said, I have no food in my house. This is the only clothes I'm wearing, this is it. I don't own anything. I'm in the bad shape. Now, whatever Imam helped him with later on, that's separate. But Imam said, no, you are very wealthy. You are wealthy. You are a wealthy man. He said, you don't trust me? I'm telling you, I don't have anything. So Imam said, okay, what if they gave you everything? They gave you everything you want. And in return, you are asked to give away the love that you have for Jafar ibn Muhammad as-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam. In return, in exchange, like you say, okay, I let go of this love of Ahlul Bayt and I get what? Everything else. Are you ready to make this deal? He said, no. Never. I will never compromise on this issue of wilayat of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad al-Musallatu wassalam. So Imam says, see, I told you, you're a very wealthy man. What you have outweighs everything else in the universe. Everything else that people call power and wealth and prosperity, you have more than that. Because we are willing to give up everything else, sacrifice everything else for the sake of the love that you have for Ahlul Bayt. So you see, this is the greatest favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every one of us must look deep and understand that. Truly understand what that means. Acknowledge that. Because this is what defines us. This is who we really are and should be. This is our greatest strength. That we must recognize that every day of our life that we are the Shia of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. Allahumma salli. Am I making sense? This is very important for us. So we should see that. And so if that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, made us love Him more than anyone else in this world. The followers of Ahlul Bayt love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than anyone else in this world. The reason is clear. We have the greatest favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The person who receives the greatest favor will love the person, the giver, more. Right? We have been given the biggest honor, biggest favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, biggest ni'mat and blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are just required to acknowledge it. Understand what that means. That's all. This life is for that purpose. That we really understand what that means. That's it. The more we know, the more we will love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more we will love Ahlul Bayt. The more you know what Ahlul Bayt mean, who they were, the more you will love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already instilled His love in our hearts even before He sent to us. Many orphans that went hungry that night. Many widows that did not have their daily supplement, their need that they had. Whatever Imam Ali used to take. There were many blind and disabled people, many old people, non-Muslims who, Imam Mushtaba, when he was coming back from after burying Imam Ali alayhi salam, he found this blind old man who was not even a Muslim sitting and crying. Imam came to him and said, what has happened to you? He said, until 3 days ago, a man used to come every night and bring me food. He has not come for 3 days. As he tried to describe something about Imam Ali, Imam Hassan recognized, he said, that was my father. He has been killed. So just to this level, that every single person in Kufa, now Imam that morning of the 19th went to the masjid, and the things he was saying that night were pretty strange. He was saying, I am not lying and I have not been lied to. When he looked at the stars, he could see, because he had the science, he had all the knowledge of the stars, this cosmos, everything. He said, I can see that. This is the night I have been promised. I am not lying and I have not been lied to. This is the promised night. And then he came into the courtyard of his residence, and they had some birds in the house. They came in his way and started making sounds. Some people tried to move them away. Imam said, let them be. Da'uhunna. فَإِنَّهُنَّ سَوَائِحُ. They are just being a little loud, that's all. تَتْبَعُهَا النَّوَائِحُ. After them, very soon will come women who will lament over Ali, who will cry and mourn the loss of Ali. And who are these women? They are the daughters of Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. But then all the other people who will cry for Imam Ali. That day so many people came out to cry. It reminded the people of the day the Prophet of Islam had passed away. It was just like that. That was Medina, and this is Kufa in this month of Ramadan. Why would people become so blind? When they brought Ibn Muljim in front of Imam Ali alayhi salam, Imam Ali had raised his voice, says, the son of Yahudiya has killed me. And soon they will bring him to the masjid. And they entered with him in their custody, brought him. Imam Ali asked him, was I a bad imam for you? Did I deserve this? What wrong have I done to you? Why have you done this to me? And he had nothing to say except that I have nothing against you. As a person, none of the enemies of Imam Ali could find one single problem with Imam Ali. One single defect in the personality of Imam Ali alayhi salam. No one. We have these statements in history from Muawiyah, Amr As, from Zubair, from Talha, from all these people. There was jealousy, right? Yes. There was greed. There were all these other things, but nothing against the personality and character of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Flawless, perfect character as a human being. Just and pious. Right? After the battle of Jamal, I'll finish this here. After the battle of Jamal, Imam Ali alayhi salam came to the Baitul Mal in Basra. And so his army has fought this battle. They had come all the way from Medina, fought this battle. Many of them have been killed. Some of them have been injured. His army. Imam said, whatever money there is, distributed among my army. Instead of transferring that money to Medina, he said, no, these are the people who have made sacrifices with me. Distribute this, give each person 500 dirhams. So the people who distributed were there, they said this money was distributed according to instructions of Imam Ali. Each soldier got 500 until there was not a single dirham left in the Baitul Mal. It was completely equal, that it was that 500, 500, 500, not a single dirham left in treasury. One share Imam Ali got from their 500 dirhams. Right then a person showed up and said, Yabna, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, I love you. And my heart was with you, but I could not take part in this battle. So I want a share of this money for me. Imam Ali gave his own share to this soldier, who had not even fought in this battle. This is the personality of Imam Ali alayhi salam. You will not find anything similar to this in history. The more you study the personality of Imam Ali. Imam Ali alayhi salam was in the mihrab of ibadat. After he woke up, everyone called his last adhan from the ma'zana, from that minar or that place of adhan in the masjid of Kufa. Many of you have gone there, I'm sure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala count us among the Za'irin of Najaf Ashraf and the Za'irin of Karbala al-Muqaddasa. That was the fateful morning. Sahar Imam Ali alayhi salam woke up everyone, prepared, asked them to come get ready for prayers. Then he came inside the mihrab and started offering nafil subh. In the second sajda, he was raising his head when Ibn Muljim came and struck him with his poisoned sword. And they could hear the voice of Ali, Fuzto wa Rabbil Kaaba. I have become successful. Imam Ali is not a person who has been injured the first time. He has been in battles. Only in the battle of Uhud he was wounded. He had 90 wounds on his body. But this is the time he says, Fuzto wa Rabbil Kaaba. Imam Ali has been carrying the pain of the loss of Fatima, loss of the daughter of Prophet Muhammad, where he saw his eyes, those who came into his house, they burned down the door of the house, they subjected Fatima to so much pain that she lost her son. Imam Ali alayhi salatu saw his wife right before his eyes suffering like that, until the day when Fatima, as a result of these injuries, lost her life. And Imam Ali had to take her into her grave and give this amanat back to the Holy Prophet of Islam. This is perhaps the day when Ali alayhi salam will finally be relieved from these people who have caused Imam Ali so much pain. Ala la'natullah ala al-qawm al-zalimin wa saya'lamu alladhina zalamu ayya munqalabin yanqalibun. Oh Allah, make the zuhur of Imam Akhir Zaman close. Oh Allah, accept our ibadat during this month of Ramadan. Oh Allah, make us all among the followers and companions of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. Oh Allah, protect the lives of our Marajah Taqleed, Rahbar Inqilab, protect our holy places and our Hawzat Ilbiyya. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alayhi al-athar.
बीबी ने कहा बाबा करबल में चले आना, बीबी ने कहा बाबा करबल में चले आना, मंजर मैं दिखाऊंगी अकबर की जवानी का, लोगों ये जनाजा है इस्लाम के बानी का, आगाज़ हो रहा है करबल की कहानी का, आगाज़ हो रहा है करबल की कहानी का, आगाज़ हो रहा है करबल की कहानी का। बीबी ने कहा बाबा करबल में चले आना, बीबी ने कहा बाबा करबल में चले आना, मंजर मैं दिखाऊंगी अकबर की जवानी का, लोगों ये जनाजा है इस्लाम के बानी का, आगाज़ हो रहा है करबल की कहानी का, आगाज़ हो रहा है करबल की कहानी का, आगाज़ हो रहा है करबल की कहानी का। कट जाएंगे बाजू भी आबा से बावफा के, कट जाएंगे बाजू भी आबा से बावफा के, तीरों से होगा जलनी मशकीज़ वो पानी का, लोगों ये जनाजा है इस्लाम के बानी का, आगाज़ हो रहा है करबल की कहानी का, आगाज़ हो रहा है करबल की कहानी का, आगाज़ हो रहा है करबल की कहानी का, लोगों ये जनाजा है इस्लाम के बानी का, आगाज़ हो रहा है करबल की कहानी का, आगाज़ हो रहा है करबल की कहानी का, आगाज़ हो रहा है करबल की कहानी का। कट जाएंगे बाजू भी आबा से बावफा के, कट जाएंगे बाजू भी आबा से बावफा के, तीरों से होगा जलनी मशकीज़ वो पानी का, लोगों ये जनाजा है इस्लाम के बानी का, आगाज़ हो रहा है करबल की कहानी का, आगाज़ हो रहा है करबल की कहानी का, आगाज़ हो रहा है करबल की कहानी का। बिखरेगा करबला में कातिल के सर का चेहरा, बिखरेगा करबला में कातिल के सर का चेहरा, खुशियाँ سمیٹ لے گا عالم وہ ویرانی کا. لوگوں یہ جنازہ ہے اسلام کے بانی کا. آغاز ہو رہا ہے کربل کی کہانی کا. آغاز ہو رہا ہے کربل کی کہانی کا. آغاز ہو رہا ہے کربل کی کہانی کا. بکھرے گا کربلا میں کاسے کے سر کا صحرا. بکھرے گا کربلا میں کاسے کے سر کا صحرا. خوشیاں سمیٹ لے گا آدم وہ ایرانی کا. لوگوں یہ جنازہ ہے اسلام کے بانی کا. آغاز ہو رہا ہے کربل کی کہانی کا.